Okay. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's event, the Credit and Money Management and Resources for Entrepreneurs that's being presented by SBA and Operation Hope. I am Natalie Hall, your Economic Development Specialist and also the Veterans Rep with the Small Business Administration that's located here in Jacksonville, Florida. My office is ran by the leadership of Janelle Hine, who is our district director, and our deputy district director, Jeff Salza. The North Florida district office covers the territories starting from the Panhandle up to Orlando. So we cover 43 counties to provide support to those individuals that's looking to start or even grow a small business. Today, I have with me Erin Lines with Operation Hope. Thank you, Erin, for the collaboration again. Outside of Economic Development Specialist and Veterans Rep, I'm also required to align myself up with other community leaders and stakeholders so we can be able to collaborate, such as on events like this, to help us with our reach. Being that we have such a large territory to cover, SBA cannot do it alone. So that's why, again, it is so beneficial for us, again, to work with our other community leaders and stakeholders, because sometimes there are programs and services that we do not provide that the other organizations provide. So it's a benefit to our small business communities for us to collaborate. So again, Erin, thank you. And anytime I reach out to Erin to say, hey, let's try to pull something together, let's do this, she's always there and ready to, just do it. So again, Erin, thank you. And again, welcome, guys. So I'm going to start the event and with an overview of SBA programs and services, just to let you guys know who we are, what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. Followed by my presentation will be Erin's presentations, and then we can take a few to, do Q&A. Along the way, if you guys have any questions during the presentation, you can unmute yourself to ask that question or throw it in the chat or wait to the end. It's going to be totally up to you. But again, we just want to let you know about the resources that's available, because a lot of times individuals that we find out may not know about the programs and services that is out there and that's available for you to utilize, whether it's on the entrepreneurship side or the personal side. So collaborating with Operation Hope is just a good fit, and it ties in with our mission. So with that being said, I'm going to begin my presentation. And that's not what I wanted to do. I picked the wrong box. This is what I needed to do. Give me a moment. This is it. Slideshow and from the beginning. So Erin, are you able to see the first slide?
Yes, I am, Natalie.
Okay, great. Come on, machine. Okay, so like I said, welcome all to today's Credit, Money Management, and Resources for Entrepreneur that's being presented by SBA and Operation Hope. So the Small Business Administration works to ignite change and spark action so small businesses can confidently start, grow, and expand and recover. And the next presentations and followed by that will show you how we can do that. So this slide right here are a list of the SBA Resource Partner Network. So the first one shows the Women's Business Center. Here in our territory, we have the Jacksonville Women's Business Center, and they are partly funded by SBA to provide you support by way of no-cost business mentoring counseling. They also put on a host of workshops January through December. That mentoring and counseling is one-on-one. Again, it's no cost. The workshops and trainings that's provided, some may have a small fee to attend, some may have no cost at all. The workshops and trainings, again, could be in person, it could be online. So it's going to be totally up to the individual. So the one-on-one could be in person or virtually, and the workshops and trainings could be an in-person event or something that is online. So it's going to be totally up to the individual whether or not they want to utilize the Women's Business Center and to receive the programs and services that they offer. Next is SCORE. SCORE is their tagline, as you see, is for the life of your business. They are a resource partner with SBA that has been a resource partner a little over 50 years. Our Jacksonville Women's Business Center, about 20 years. SCORE is a volunteer organization. So those mentors that are with SCORE, those men and women, today, some of them still run their business, some have since sold their business, and some come from large corporations. So basically, that's their way of giving back. SCORE, again, is an SBA resource partner that provides that no-cost business mentoring and counseling one-on-one, workshops and trainings January through December. That mentoring and counseling, again, could be one-on-one, could be in person, or it could be virtually over the phone. Workshops and trainings could be in person or by online as well. If those of you that want to either work with SCORE or the Women's Business Center or either one of the other resource partners, I suggest just visiting everyone's website so that way you can get a good feel of each resource partner. So it'll help you to decide who you want to work with. Again, SCORE, those men and women volunteer. And with SCORE, they generally try to match you with a mentor based on the industry that you're looking to tap into. And like I mentioned, they have been a resource partner a little over 50 years. Next up is the Small Business Development Center, we call them SBDC for short. They are also the third SBA resource partner that's available to assist you to either start or grow your small business. The Small Business Development Center also provides that one-on-one, no-cost business mentoring and counseling. They also put on a host of workshops January through December. The mentoring that's no cost could be, again, in person, or it could be virtually over the phone. The workshops are trainings. They can have a fee. Some of them could be free, in person as well as online. Small Business Development Center has been a resource partner with SBA a little over 30 years. So again, that's the third SBA resource partner that's available, again, to assist those looking to start, grow, expand, or recover. And last up is our Veterans Business Outreach Center. VBOC is what we call them for short. This organization was created specifically for our military community, including those spouses. So unlike the Women's Business Center, SCORE, and SBDC, they can help those that's military connected, non-military connected, but the VBOC is here specifically for our military community, including the spouses. Unfortunately, we only have one VBOC within our territory, and they are located in Panama City. But if there's someone that's not close to Panama City that wants to work with the VBOC, you have the option of traveling to Panama City or working with them over the phone or virtually. Again, they provide the same support with helping someone to start or grow a small business. They provide mentoring and counseling as well, and put on workshops and trainings. So these are the 4 SBA resource partners that are partly funded by the Small Business Administration that's here to assist you. The VBOC has been a resource partner a little over 20 years. Right now, we have 28 VBOCs around the country. So we are still looking to grow this organization for our military community, including the spouses. And they're set up a little different than the Women's Business Centers, SBDCs, and SCOREs because they have more locations here in this area and around the country. But there are your access. These are your resources. These are the organizations that, again, can assist you, whether you're starting a business, growing a business, or it's just an idea. And I know a lot of times in the entrepreneurship arena, there are different ways to tap into it. Someone may want to run a full-time business, a part-time business. Maybe someone wants to have a home-based business or run their business online. It's going to be totally up to that individual, but we just want to let you know we can assist you. What if you have a hobby and you're ready to take that hobby and turn it into a business so you can stop giving your product or service away for free? That's why we are here to provide that support. A lot of times individuals may not understand the connection For example, if someone was asked, hey, have you ever received support from SBA? That individual might say no, even if they worked with one of the resource partners, but it's fine. But that's why generally when I do my presentation, try to spill it out so individuals can see the connection. Working with the Women's Business Center, SCORE, Small Business Development Center, or the Veterans Business Outreach Center is still receiving support from your U.S. Small Business Administration. So again, these are the 4 resource partners that's available to assist you, whether you're starting or growing a small business. As I mentioned a little earlier, I'm the veterans rep, meaning that I provide support to the military community, including spouses, letting them know, again, who we are, what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. So this particular slide right here just shows a few of the workshops, trainings that we do have in place. The first one is Boost the Business. That's a 2-day entrepreneurship that we do right here in this area and around the country. So for those individuals that are looking to transition out of the military and they select entrepreneurship, the Boost the Business training is the class that they will be taking. Those classes are delivered to those military installations, like I said, here in the Jacksonville area, in the Panhandle, in the South Florida area, and around the country. It's 2 days. There's 8 modules over the course of 2 days. And once that service member or spouse that can attend that training completes it, they will receive a certificate of completion. So again, those individuals that's looking to transition out the military that select entrepreneurship, Boost the Business is the training that they will take. The next one is the Boost the Business Reboot, which is the same training, but it's not attached to a military installation. Sometimes individuals may transition out and may not have access to the base. So that's why the reboots was created. Here in my office, the North Florida District Office, the reboots that we have been doing have been in collaboration with our South Florida District Office. So it's a state reboot and it's online. So those individuals, regardless where they sit here in Florida, or we may have some individuals outside of the state of Florida that want to take the reboot, they are welcome. Again, they must sit through both days of the training to receive a certificate of completion. It's the same program, but it's just not attached to a military installation. And the third is the Military Spouse Pathway to Business. This is a brand new program specifically for the spouses. And as a matter of fact, next week, November the 7th and 8th, will be the North Florida and South Florida first Military Spouse Pathway to Business training. It mirrors Boost the Business, 2 days, 8 modules. And again, this one will be online. All of this information can be found on sba.gov/veterans. But I'm excited to bring that Military Spouse Pathway to Business training. Again, it's new. It just dropped this July, and we are conducting our first training next week, which is the 7th and 8th of November. This week, we have recognized as our 10th annual National Veteran Small Business Week. The North Florida office that I'm from in the South Florida collaborated on a few events. Next week, that Military Spouse Pathway to Business event is also a collaboration along with our Veterans Business Outreach Center. So we have tons of workshops and trainings that we do provide for our military community. And the last one is the Veteran Women Igniting the Spirit of Entrepreneurship. That's another training that is available. It has 3 pieces. The first piece will be the online. The second is the conference. And the third is the resources that is attached to the individual. That particular program is for the female service member and the female spouse. VYs are conducted at least maybe 4 times a year in different states. We just had a VYs here in Jacksonville to begin in October. SBA was, a part of it. I enjoyed it. That was my second VYs. Great program. And the last is the Surplus Personal Property for Veteran-Owned Small Business Program. So again, we have those veteran-owned small business that's able to tap into that surplus property. So that way they don't have to spend money on, different furnitures, computers, just anything that's going to help you run your business. It could be, just imagine items that some government agencies are no longer using. where these veteran-owned small businesses have an opportunity to go after that surplus property. We highlighted this program maybe close to 2 years ago, and a gentleman, a veteran small business owner, shared that he received 2 cars from that program. So again, all of this information can be found by going to sba.gov/veterans. And this particular slide just gives us an update on veterans and business ownership stats. We like to, highlight what our veterans and spouses of veterans, how they contribute to our economy. So just to show some of those stats. Next is qualify for federal contracts with certifications. So these are the 4 certification programs that SBA does have. The first is the 8A Business Development Program. The next is the Historically Underutilized Business Zone, which we call HUB Zone for short. The third one is the Women-Owned Small Business Program. And the last is the Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Program. So these are the 4 certifications. So if someone is already in business, looking to take their business to the next level, government contracting is a great way to do that. Each year, the federal government spends billions of dollars. So having a certification, even as an 8A HUB Zone, woman-owned, or service disabled veteran-owned, will help you to stop leaving money on the table, because 23% of those billions of dollars that get spent on a yearly basis have to be set aside for those types of certifications. So a lot of times the individuals may start a business and may be interested in contracting and may go after 8A Business Development Program, which is a 9-year program. So a small business owner does have to do an application to get accepted into the program, to show that you are socially as well as economically at a disadvantage. And once a company is accepted into the program, they are attached a business opportunity specialist for the 9 years. And what happens after that 9 years, we will love to see that small business graduate successfully. A lot of times individuals just, get to the 9th year, and because they're done with their program, they leave out the program not successful. But that's not what we're looking to happen. We want those businesses that are accepted into the program after the 9th year to graduate successfully. Then there's an opportunity for the HUB Zone. So if you have a business and you find out that you're in a HUB Zone and you're in the contracting arena, that's also a benefit as well. Having that woman-owned certification as well as that services able veteran-owned program certification, again, that's a plus as well. You can take a deeper dive by going to certified.sba.gov to learn more about 8A HUB Zone, woman-owned, and service disabled veteran-owned program. But again, if someone is in business and is looking to take that business to the next level, government contracting is the way to go. And we are federal government, so we say government contracting, but remember, you have city, state, and local opportunities as well. Next up, funding. So SBA, we do have a loan program. We don't lend directly. There are no grants for any small business owner, future or existing, for starting or growing a business. A lot of times we hear that, we get calls on a daily basis saying someone said or they heard, but unfortunately there is no grant through SBA to start a small business. Our loan program is not a direct loan program. We have banks and private lending institutions that do participate in our loan program. So anyone that's interested in financial assistance, to get access to capital, they will have to approach one of those lending institutions to ask for a small business loan, because that lending institution is going to decide one of 3 things. Based on the deal itself, if that lending institution likes the deal, they're going to want to take the risk 100%, meaning that they're going to fund it under one of their own loan products. Number 2, if they like it but don't want to take the risk by themselves, they will attach an SBA loan product, which is an SBA guarantee. An SBA can back that loan, but it's going to be totally up to that lending institution. So if someone receives an SBA loan, a small business loan that's backed by SBA, they default. SBA is going to step in, pay that lending institution off, and then go after the borrower to recoup those funds. Or 3, they can decide to decline the deal altogether. So the 4 resource partners that I introduced you to in the beginning, other than them helping you to get your business up and running, to get your business to the next level, they're also there to help to get you bank ready. So they can help you with that business plan, financials, projections, which a lender is going to want to see. That's basically what's going to speak for you. So again, outside of that resource partner helping you up front, they can also help you to gain access to capital. The North Florida District Office, we do have a list of lenders. So if anyone is interested in seeing that list of lenders so they can see what lending institutions participate, we can get that information sent to you. And if you know that you will be starting a business or need access to capital, I want you to begin to start building a relationship with a financial lending institute, because you want to make sure when it's time for you to do that process, that lending institution that you're thinking about working with has an appetite for what it is that you're looking to do. So you want to begin to build that relationship. You want to begin to have those conversations to say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm looking to do. Would you be willing to fund this deal for me? A lot of times individuals may look at that list that we send and say, hey, this is the bank I'm already banking with. So there's a relationship right there. So now you just need to make sure you get in front of the correct individual to talk about financial assistance. We're not saying go in and talk about an SBA product, because again, those banks participate. We're going to send you a list. So you're going to see those lenders. You're going to see where they're sitting at. So they're already familiar with the SBA loan product. But what we want to do is educate you. So that way you have a better understanding of the loan program and what to expect from that lender and what that lender is going to expect from you. Again, our loans can start from about 500 and go up to as much as 5.5 million. This slide right here shows just a couple of the two flagship loan products we have, 7A and a 504. So the 7A are done through our traditional lenders. The 504 loans are done through what we call our 504 lenders. And we also have a microloan. Microloans are for those individuals that's looking to borrow $50,000 or less. So again, these lenders can be found on our lenders list. Again, if someone wants to receive that list of lenders, all they have to do is reach out to our office and we can get that into your hands. Okay, disaster happens, prepare your business. We don't like to talk about disasters, but disasters do happen. The U.S. Small Business Administration does have a disaster program, and our Office of Disaster team is the office that handles that. So for an example, if there's a disaster that happens, let's say in Duval County, and is deemed a disaster, our Office of Disaster Assistance team will come and set up in that area to help those small business owners, whether they're for-profit, nonprofit, homeowners, as well as renters. Okay, so again, SBA does have assistance for individuals that face disasters. And they're again for small business owners, for-profit, nonprofit, homeowners, as well as renters. And our disaster product is the only loan product that we have that's direct, meaning that you will do your application directly through SBA. Okay, but again, once that area is deemed a disaster, that Office of Disaster team will come and set up in that area again to help those small business owners, homeowners, as well as renters. And this particular slide right here shows what those loans cover: real estate, personal property, economic injury, machinery and equipment, inventory, and active duty military. Again, all of the information that I just went over can be found on our national website, which is sba.gov. Any new programs, any initiatives that's happened, anything that's new to SBA, it gets placed there. That is also a resource. Other than you're coming and working with the North Florida District Office or whichever office you are attached to, your other resource would be SBA.gov, which is our national website. So this next slide is, we want to know how we are doing as an agency. So we have a link, which is sba.gov/feedback, or you can actually click on the QR code to do the survey. So the feedback is to just let us know how the agency is doing as a whole. You pay taxes. You're already paying for the services from SBA, why not come in and let us assist you? A lot of times individuals tend to stay away from us because we are federal government and they think we're only here to look over your shoulders to catch you doing something wrong. That's not the case at all. If you're looking to start to invest your money, your time into starting and growing a business, we want to make sure that you can be successful, help your communities, and at the end of the day, create jobs. So again, let us know how we're doing. You can scan the QR code or go to sba.gov/feedback. And this is my contact information. I'm with the North Florida District Office. And I did forget to say, at the moment, the office is not open for walk-in. So if someone happens to be in the area and wanted to stop by and pop in, it's not open, but we're still working. We're doing events like this online. We are doing events in person. There are events that are being done at our office, but again, it's just not open to the public. So before you actually take that trip to 7825 Bay Meadows Way, give us a call, reach out to us. So that way we can let you know, or we can maybe provide that support to you right over the phone or through that email. So you have my direct phone number, 904-443-1902, and I can be reached at natalie.hall@sba.gov. And if you're not receiving information directly from us, you can follow us on LinkedIn or X, which is formerly Twitter. And that way, when we're plugging information on our social media platform, you can see the new things that's happening with SBA, the new programs, and, just a way to stay connected. So again, thank you. And if you guys have any questions for me, we can do that Q&A followed by Aaron's presentation. Okay. So that's all that I have. Next up, I did share that Erin with Operation Hope will be delivering her presentation. Am I froze? Okay, I think I froze a little bit. So up next is Erin Lyons with Operation Hope, who's going to share her information regarding the programs and services that's available for you. And again, after her presentation, we can dive in and do a Q&A. So again, guys, thank you for listening. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Erin.
Thank you, Natalie. Great presentation, a lot of information, super helpful, of course. To piggyback on a lot of that, so I am a financial well-being coach with Operation Hope, and I'm going to share some information today on credit and money management. So it's a brief overview of basically foundation concepts that you want to pay attention to, personal and business, in order to gain business credit. And be successful, you want to be sure that you're also successful with your personal finances. So it goes hand in hand. And as a coach, I help people in all of these aspects, whether it starts with personal or moving into the business, to basically set the stage to be successful. There's a lot of work when it comes to credit and money management, and having a coach to, keep the momentum going, hold you accountable, and teach you new skills and guide you can be very helpful, especially in the initial 90 to 180 days. So with that said, I'm going to share my presentation today. And just like Natalie said, we're going to have the Q&A afterwards. I'm happy to answer any of your questions at that time. All right, so start my presentation. So here's some of the services, just like I had said, that I help people with. Again, credit and money management entails quite a lot. I do help people establish and rebuild their credit. I have access to the TransUnion credit report and FICO score, so that's what I use. Operation Hope has a relationship with TransUnion, so that would be a soft pull on your credit report to obtain that information. And then I go through that report directly with you. I share it in our client portal if you become a client. And my services are at no cost, so I can help you with all of these services listed here. So if indeed you are interested, or again, you have just questions, I'm happy to help you with those. You just need to reach out to me, and you can call me, you can text me, or you can email me. So today's workshop topics, I believe in this order, we'll go over budgeting, savings, understanding your credit report, factors that make up your FICO score, understanding debt and best practice. So, exactly how to go about establishing or reestablishing has a lot to do with your debt. Best practice, there's so many skills. I won't be able to cover them during this workshop, but as a coach, that's primarily what I'm helping people with. Um, there's a ton of little things to know. Establishing and rebuilding your credit profile is very important. Establishing, getting clients into the 700 plus score range is where you're going to save the most money, become the most confident, and have the most resources available to you. So, as a citizen in this nation, it's very important to focus on your credit profile and just understand what affects it and how best to navigate that. Um, and oh yeah, last here on the list is enrolling for credit and money management, which again, if you have questions, just reach out to me. It's a very simple process. You just register. And again, it's no cost. And my clients, they work with me by phone or virtually. I do have an office here in Jacksonville. But just as Natalie, after COVID, we became pretty remote. But also, just so you know, in case you know anyone that is in need of assistance, Operation Hope has um, offices across the nation. So there's always a coach out there to help you. You don't have to remain in the program for any length of time. It's strictly to help with financial literacy. That's the core mission of Operation Hope. So, by learning and adopting some of these important financial habits, you can feel more confident about your financial well-being, and you can be more financially resilient, which is very important with the economy these days, especially. So, quick question. I don't know if you're willing to put it in the chat or not, but do you currently have a personal budget, spending plan, or financial plan? It's a budget, but I actually tend to use spending plan because it's a plan for all of your money. It's not just budgeting to cover living expenses. It's where do you want your money to go, and feeling confident it's going to the places that you really do want it to go. And especially in terms of where you want it to go, savings, including savings in that and paying yourself first is very, very important. So, as a financial coach, the number one pitfall I see with most all my clients is that they do not have a budget. They do not track their spending. They're not aware of money in, money out. So first and foremost, I do start with that. I help people with that. Sometimes it's a pen and paper approach. Sometimes we use apps, but apps and or Excel. But most importantly, we get the job done. And after a client takes this step, often the takeaway is that they're very less stressed about, wow, okay, here's my financial picture. Here's my income, my money in of all different sorts. And here's money out, both my living expenses, my spending, because that we do a spending analysis. So again, it can be just one step where you create the picture, and you feel a little less stressful because you know what that outcome is. You know what you have to work with moving forward towards your goals or towards savings, which of course is the goal, but it's sort of a separate goal, whereas other goals might be starting a business, especially buying a home, just affording, car insurance, and wondering where that's going to work in, especially living in the state of Florida. Um, so anyways, it's important to be able to understand the full picture, and I do help people with that.
Okay, Erin, before you go on, so based on your question that you asked,
Yeah.
the first one says yes, but it needs work, and also tackling debt, and it's rough, two roughs. The next was personal budget, as we want to pay off our debt and later continue with investments.
Okay, excellent. I'm so happy to see that everyone is participating. So you'll see during this presentation, again, this is an overview of these topics, but because we're going to dive deep into them, into your individual circumstances when we work together. But again, having a budget is the cornerstone to financial management. So, it's going to help you control your money and effectively achieve your financial goals. Even just, finding that confidence with understanding and not feeling that sense of roughness or stress. It's a constant stress for people when they don't know where their money's going. It's a very powerful tool for planning, achieving stability and success, and it empowers you to, be in control of your finances and work towards your goals. So, thank you again for answering that and participating today. So it's important to remember there's not a one way to go about this. I know that as a coach. So what I do is build a relationship with my clients. If you're transparent with me, then we can definitely dive deeper into your situation. If you're not perfectly fine, I'm still going to help you basically put all the pieces together. It can feel like a puzzle to many people, and customize it to your life, your goals, your expenses. But again, one of the keys to being successful is that you need to track. So after we create the budget, it's so important that you use whatever method's going to work for you. It could be a pen and paper notebook method, but it could be also a budgeting app, some spreadsheets. There's a ton of online free help now. But again, finding a method that works for you that you can at least stick with for 90 days. That is what I challenge my clients to do. And once we've done that for 90 days, they find it becomes more of a habit. It's grown its own muscle and it works for them. So I definitely can be a resource to many different methods. But of course, first and foremost, making sure to create that budget, listing your monthly income sources, your expenses, and then understanding that you do want to work towards allocating a portion for savings and a portion for debt repayment. So speaking of debt repayment, so managing your debt effectively entails having a strategy to reduce and ultimately eliminate it. So budget's going to help create that money. It's going to make sure that you understand, okay, so here's everything that's paid. Here's the amount I'm spending on food in, food out, gas, utilities, groceries. I've said that. Entertainment, contributions, everything, right? And then you're going to see the outcome. Now, that might not be a good outcome. It might be that you're at a deficit, that you are unable to cover, your expenses in month to month, everything. It might be that you're juggling, but then comes in the financial management and finding a better strategy to, bring down the stress, kind of start fresh and start trying to implement strategies so that you can figure out how to stop the juggling, get the consistent bill paying going, and then work towards the goal of creating money in your budget to then go towards debt repayment and savings. So first and foremost, you need to figure out what is the budget outcome. Do you have a deficit or are you at a surplus? Do you have some excess? And then from there, well, then what are the priorities? Deciding what your priorities are, your goals, your needs, and then what the timeline for those are. So kind of with the budget, it's that foundation piece. Then we discuss your needs, then your goals, then we prioritize and use that budget to start understanding the plan. So savings, again, I said it earlier, it's a must. It's not optional. It really does make the difference between a crisis or an inconvenience. I would say most of the time with my clients, if someone is going into a major amount of debt, it's because of a car maintenance issue or dental work. I know that might sound kind of interesting, but those are two of the primary reasons why people will get into credit card debt, or loans if they can't get a credit card. But most often, these are very high interest ways to get out of debt. And it just causes a very much so a downward spiral, and people just feel like they can't get out of that. Again, they're starting to juggle and they can't save because they're getting more and more in debt. So savings is a must because, you can achieve any financial goal with savings and you can secure your financial well-being. There's nothing like being able to secure your financial well-being, whether you have the $500 or the $1,000 in a savings account, knowing that you have that backup can honestly be a huge sense of relief. And again, it can be more of an inconvenience when something happens, not such a crisis. So I definitely will help you and help people all the time understand how to start small, It really doesn't matter what your income level is. It's really possible to start small, even if it's $20 a month. It's still a step in the right direction. Consistency is key with this as well. So you want to commit to saving a fixed amount per month. And just like any other bill, even if it's really small, it's $20. It's an auto deposit into savings, but it adds up over time. And then it also compounds over time. Someone had mentioned investing, understanding how to go in that direction. Well, things take time, and investments, retirement funds, they all grow with time. So again, being consistent, starting small, and allowing time to take over is where you really win in this game. So making an action plan is very important as well. Just like I spelled out earlier, setting specific, measurable, time bound. So time bound, we need to have a timeline. Well, what's your approach going to be? Is it going to be under a year? So that's going to be a short-term goal, or is it going to be over a year? And then making sure that we get very specific in terms of what financial goals that you need to meet and how to achieve them within that timeline. So this is a list of, it kind of spells out how to go about that. But again, you want to be specific, you want to have measurable, and you want to have time-bound financial goals. It's going to give you that direction and that motivation on your journey, because sometimes things take time. As a coach, I find I tend to keep the momentum for people. When you have someone that you're checking in with that understands what your journey is, where you're coming from, where you started, where you're trying to go, when obstacles are coming your way, and trying to navigate those as well, it really does help. So again, I can definitely help you keep that momentum going, stay on track, and if you get off track, bring you back and restart. So now we'll switch into the credit report and your FICO score. So your credit report, it's a reflection of your financial habits. Straight up, that's the simple way to explain what a credit report is. So I walk people through credit reports, how to read them, how to interpret a lot of information that is on a credit report. To get your credit report, the credit bureaus collect that information and your credit background, and they provide reports to you. So they also provide these to other companies about you. The three major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, all list a little differently. They all compile their information a little differently and report it a little differently. So you find that what is called your FICO score is a little different with each one. So it's important to understand what all of them have on their reports. And you can request your free credit report. It's not each year anymore. I apologize, that's a mistake. It has been changed to each month per agency at the annualcreditreport.com. I also like to make sure I point out that it's annualcreditreport.com. If you go to my free annualcreditreport.com or freecreditreport.com, you're going to be on a different type of website. Don't put your personal information in there. Just make sure that you are on the right website, because it might look similar, right? But you don't want to be adding in your personal information into any other site except for this one. Once you're logged in, it's a very simple process. It's just, just like most online accounts, you put your personal information in there. You're going to have access to each of these credit bureau reports. Now, when I'm working with the client with the TransUnion Credit Bureau report, my report is very easy to read. TransUnion gives us one that looks a little different than the three that you'd pull online. But I have 4 years that I can look back at for your history. When you're logging in online, you can look back 7 to 10 years into your history. So no matter what, I have clients take this step so that we can cross-reference and so that they understand their history further back from 4 years, especially when it comes to certain aspects that affect your FICO score, such as your payment history, collection accounts, things like that stay on for 7 years. It's going to be important to go here and find the information as to when they were actually reported and when they're going to fall off. it also can just kind of boost your psychological sense of, okay, soon, this date, those are not going to matter anymore or affect my score anymore. So again, also for other reasons such as fraud, and being sure that all of your reports read correctly with your personal information, it's very important to check your reports once a year. And no one's going to knock on your door or send you something in the mail or an email or some type of alert and tell you to go do this. It's definitely something that we as consumers have to do, should do. So that's my rant there. So with your credit score range, your credit score is financial report card. So it can affect everything from your loan approvals to business partnerships. It's a 3-digit number. It represents your credit worthiness. And each individual, it's based on factors from your financial history. It's calculated using information on your credit report. Each credit bureau, like I said earlier, has its own formula that it uses for its credit scoring. And two of the best known are the FICO and the Vantage score. So credit scores range from poor, which is 300, to excellent at 850. So the best credit score is an 850. Oops, sorry about that. And I'm just going to discuss each how to maintain good credit, which you can see the range here. Now, as a coach, I work with clients to get their credit up into the 700 range. That's the 700 credit community operation hope that we refer to. That's going to give you the most access and save you the most money long term. So it's very important. And there's many ways to get there. Sometimes it does take extra time based on what your credit report reads out. But no matter what, it's possible. You just have to be consistent. So, Natalie, I'll need your help with this because I don't have the chat pulled up. But so which of the following do you think impacts your credit score the most out of these 5 factors? You want to put your answer in the chat. So give me a sense of how much you know about the factors that impact your credit score.
Let me see. D for payment history, 100%, and one is don't all of them impact your credit score?
Yes. Okay. Thank you for answering, everyone, again, and participating. So yes, they do all impact your credit score. All 5 are the factors. The one that impacts it the most is correct payment history. The second is C, amounts owed. And the third is B, the length of your credit history. And last, A and E tie for 10%. So these 5 factors are what you should be aware of, and make sure that you understand so that you can make the best decisions. So I'll go into those now, a little bit more detail, starting with, okay, here's the chart. Again, generally, these factors are all considered to be very important, but payment history is definitely number 1. You can see it's the largest out of the 100. So it's just really important to understand these with every credit decision that you do make. A lot of my clients don't know that, okay, payment history is very important, but they don't really know like the depths of that. So when you make a late payment on any bill, a creditor will report it as late at 30 days, and then 60 days, and then 90 days. So at 90, typically they close the account. But on your credit report, what you're going to see is your payment history under historical negative payments. And then it will show how many late 30, how many late 60, and how many late 90. Now, that stays on for 7 to 10 years, which all lenders will be able to gain access to that information. Also, a late payment will stay on your credit report for 7 years and weigh down your FICO score for 7 years. It will drop off on its own at that time. So it's just important to know, okay, sometimes, things do happen and you can definitely rebuild. But just understanding that if you are going to be late on a bill, it's best to contact the creditor, let them know what's going on, let them know you may be having a hardship, and see what they can do to work with you, and make sure that you question whether they're going to be reporting it to the credit bureaus or not once they work with you, because they might not tell you. You still make sure, again, that you're showing them you're aware that they may report it late, and what are they going to do, is what they're doing to help you going to stop that from happening. So this just gives you the chart of all those 5 factors, and now I'm going to explain each one. So your payment history, it's the largest factor. The most important thing you can do to maintain good credit is always pay all your bills on time every month. So it identifies if you've paid credit accounts on time. It includes the payment history of all of your accounts, so your installment accounts and your revolving accounts. It does include your collection items and public records. It does include the details of these missed payments, when and how much, and how long they were late. And then it calculates how many accounts show late payments and no late payments. So again, when you have no late payments, you're going to see a much higher FICO score. And, sometimes, for an example, with someone that doesn't have a lot of history, a lot of credit history on their credit profile, sometimes, if they've got this one credit card or two that they're building credit with and they have a late payment reported, they can see a score drop, an average score drop of 60 to 80 points. Now, if you have a long history of credit, there's a lot more information there for creditors and the credit bureaus to see. Therefore, you may see a little less of a drop. But most of the time with clients, I do see about 60 to 80 point drop when they have a late payment reported. So do be very careful that, that's almost 100 points. That can mean easily going from, good to poor credit. So that's how important that is. So accounts owed is your 30%. So this is the next most important factor. It's revolving accounts only. So it's also considered total debt utilization. So it takes in consideration the amounts owed. It's 30%, or refers to the amount you owe to the amount of available credit that you have on your credit card accounts. So most people do know about this. They put that language out there quite a lot now, and there's a lot of ways to be successful here. But also, if you've charged a little bit more than 30% on your revolving accounts, most importantly, it's definitely important to pay those off and get back down to that zero balance as soon as you can. And just remember that, you are paying a lot more on anything that you charge when you let these balances sit on these cards long term. Sometimes it takes people years and years to pay off their credit card debt because it's revolving. So you can, charge and then pay off any amount, the minimum at least, that is due. And so most of the time, unlike an installment loan that has you pay a specific amount for the life of the loan, again, revolving accounts, it's up to you. So it's very important to pay more than the minimum due, even $5, to get the principal amount on that card down. And also, I just like to start with, look at your credit cards, line them up, put them on a list, and write the limit down, write the balance down, write your 30% goal, which is 0.30 times the total limit. Then you're going to get that goal. So $1,000 card is going to be $300 that you're not going to want to charge above at all times to have it positively reflect on your credit. If you see a drop in your credit, then most of the time it is your debt on your revolving accounts that's causing that. As long as you didn't obtain some type of collection account or a late payment, revolving accounts will make your FICO score fluctuate the most. So if you want to see a big boost, go to your credit, your revolving credit and try to decrease that as soon as possible. And you could see, a 30, 40, 50 point boost. And if you continue doing so, you will continually increase that FICO score. So third most important factor is the length of your credit history. So this takes into consideration how long your accounts have been opened, the age you're oldest, the average age of all of your accounts, and how long specific credit accounts had been opened, and how long it's been since you've used certain accounts, which I get a lot of questions on. It's changed here or there. More recently, we're telling people, because I do attend FICO workshops to learn what's going on in the now, of course, rather than just learning through other ways that we're, taught in the credit industry. So FICO recently taught us that, even using a card and keeping a small balance on it, like seriously, even $1, yes, you're going to be paying a little bit, but you're using that card, because sometimes if you don't, you could have the card closed. And with that happening, you would then lose that credit history. So again, history is the amount of time that you've been using credit and length of credit history. So it's important not to close accounts, because if you do, you're going to lose all of that history, which has a lot, it impacts your score quite a lot. So you're going to have a healthier score the longer you keep accounts open. And if you are not using the account, you're putting it in the drawer not to use, like I said, just try to keep a small balance on it every so often. Once a month, once every 6 months is what's recommended, to keep that account open, just in case the creditor decides to close it, because it is up to them. Okay, so the fourth factor is new credit. Takes into account how many new accounts you've recently opened and whether you've been rate shopping for a single loan or applying for multiple new credit lines. So a credit inquiry is a formal request, and it's made by your lender. You've got hard inquiries and you've got soft inquiries. So a hard inquiry can impact your credit score about 5 points, typically 5 to 10 points sometimes, depending on where you started. It's typically requested again by a company that you've applied for a loan or for a credit card. A soft inquiry is not going to impact your credit rating or your credit score. They usually are requested by companies offering promotions. You'll get like the pre-qualified or the pre-approval in the mail. Or they're also, you'll see them from existing creditors doing their periodic reviews. And you can see this on your report under inquiries, which is usually second to last page. It's going to give you the name of the creditor, their contact information, the date they inquired. Just in case you did see an inquiry that you were unaware of, it's important to go directly to that place in your credit report and find out who that is so that you can catch any fraud happening as well. The last factor is the types of credit in use. So that's 10% of the total, the 100. And it considers the different types of credit accounts you have, including your credit cards, retail accounts, installment loans, mortgage loans. So here it breaks down the two separate categories. And most importantly, here it's not as important to have a credit mix is again what this category can be called when you have a great credit score. But from my standpoint, I've been in the profession now we're going on 6 years. It is very helpful to have both reporting at all times. So if you have, for an example, a car loan and it's coming to a close soon and you don't have payments, you don't necessarily have to have a car payment, an auto loan, but you could get a personal loan or a secured loan, something that you're showing specific amount of payments going towards this bill ongoing, and it's reporting positive payments to your credit profile. That can definitely boost if you're stuck somewhere in the 600s or the 700s and you can't figure out how to increase. Sometimes just opening up a secured loan or a secured credit card can help boost you to the next level where you need to go. Secured, I say, because there's a couple online opportunities that you can use that will not do a hard pull And again, they report to all three credit bureaus that you have this installment, secured loan, or secured credit card revolving. And again, as long as they're reporting to all three credit bureaus that you're making on-time payments, then you're definitely going to be increasing your FICO score and obtaining more of a healthy credit profile because of that positive payment history. It hits on a lot of different topics. So again, although this may be only 10%, it does have a lot of importance when it comes to the overall health of your credit. So here is an example credit report, very similar to the one that we use as coaches. So up top here is your personal information, and it's just important to understand that you want to regularly check your credit report to ensure there's no errors, no fraudulent activity. Again, you're entitled to that free report if you log into annualcreditreport.com. And you should download one from each of those credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Double check your information, and if this does not look correct, it's very simple to make a dispute with the credit bureaus. You can do so online. It's the easiest way. On their websites, they have a free area to go for that. And then you most likely will need to provide them with some information such as a driver's license, social security card. If you changed your name, it wasn't changed properly, you may need to give them like a a marriage certificate, and sometimes actually a divorce. But anyways, again, having something to show them as evidence that with the dispute is going to be important as well. So usually on the first page, you also have this credit summary. It's typically on first page or top of second. So it's a brief overview of your credit report's key aspects. So everything that I've referred to is covered here in the summary. The little circle there, that is showing available credit for the revolving debt. So this is, again, provides the snapshot of your credit status. It helps lenders quickly understand your credit worthiness. And again, all 5 factors that make up your FICO score can all be found here and on your credit report. So this can be very, very handy. On my report, I'm going to show you 4 years, and this really helps you understand, okay, are you in the right, do you have enough available credit for your revolving? You want that to be 70% or more to reflect the best on your credit score. It's going to show you collections. Do you have any collections that need to be paid off? Late payments. The occurrence of historical negatives is where you're going to see late payments. You want that number to be 0. And if it's not 0, then yes, it's going to take some time. But okay, well, you're aware then how many have been reported. Then we can actually go down and look at the accounts and find out when they were reported, how long they're going to fall off, which accounts they were reported on. So that's very important. Then your inquiries, that's going to show you how many inquiries have you had in the last 2 years. So not just one, it's 2 years. Inquiries fall off after 2 years. They weigh on your FICO score for the first year. But it's very important, again, not to have too many inquiries. Like 1 to 3 a year is the most you want, because if you're applying for too much credit, lenders are going to think that you're a risky consumer. Otherwise, public records, you're going to see bankruptcy if you've ever filed it, but anything else, such as liens or child support and whatnot, is no longer considered something that's being reported to the credit bureaus. So those have been taken off. And your trade accounts is every account that's been reporting to the credit bureau. So any and every account that's ever been reported. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have active, you have a certain amount of these. I'm sorry, it doesn't mean that all of these are actively open. This could be accounts that are closed, paid off. So again, it just summarizes your entire history. So here gives you an idea of when I had talked about looking at your payment history. So over on the right-hand side at the top, that first oval, that's going to show you what it looks like and where you can go to find out when you have a late payment. And then on the far right side, on the far left side where it says late payments, it's going to show you how many and how long they were reported for. And then you can add those up, and then you have the historical negatives. So that's how you find that out. Otherwise, each account is listed with the account number, the credit limit. High credit means, okay, well, how high have you charged on this account? Have you gone above the limit? Because the limit's listed right there. Lenders don't like to see that you have gone above the limit. If you have, you have. But again, this is all recorded here, so it's important to understand that. And then it also lists your balance and any past due amount that you have as well. On the right-hand side, it also has the open date. So that can be very helpful if you're in a situation where you have like 10 credit cards. Maybe you open some retail cards that you no longer use or have really high interest rates. Or maybe you're just looking to consolidate. You have your home, you have a business, you're good to go there. But now you want to, simplify your credit report or your wallet in general, and you want to close some accounts. It's best to keep accounts open that have rewards that pay you back. That's really the reason why you want to have credit cards anyways. So in order to think about closing accounts, you want to look at that open date, you want to look at your payment history, and then make your decision based on that information. Don't go and close something that has a huge amount of history, because you will see a credit score drop. But if you really don't like the account, or it has fees, annual fees or monthly fees, and you're not going to lose too much history, then it's considered a good reason to then just close the account, get rid of it, but make sure you pay it off entirely before you do. Make sure that there's no extra interest gained at the end of that statement period that that creditor reports that you might forget about. So anyways, you can look at the open date, you can look at your credit history all here and make those decisions. And I do guide people to do that as well, and make sure that it is the right time to do so. So this is what that inquiries part lists. This is what that looks like. Again, recent companies or individuals who've requested a copy of your credit report are listed here, plus their contact information if you need that. And it does differentiate between the hard inquiry and the soft inquiries. So here's just a list of how long negative trade items stay on your report. So these are things like late payments, collections, bankruptcies, tax liens, no longer, sorry. And they all do have a significant impact on your credit report and your credit score. So this just gives you a better idea of how long that these will impact your score for. A question that I get quite a lot is if collection accounts drop off after 7 years. So therefore, many people don't want to pay them and will just wait. 7 years is nearly a decade. That's a very, very long time to impact your credit score negatively with these accounts. I do help people understand how to go about a plan of action to take care of them. But I do want to let you know that most often a collection account will get sold to a new collection agency, and the 7-year period will restart. So that's something to, understand. Also, when you're applying for things like business credit, or a home loan or a personal loan, auto loan, credit cards, each of those types of lenders has a different algorithm that they're looking for from the consumer. So some of these things might not be as important to them as it is to another. So there's a lot to know here, but most importantly, it's just important to know they stay on for 7, most of them years or longer. So there's not really any way to get around them, and to be successful with your credit profile and your FICO score, to save the most money and have the most opportunities. It's important to just face these and take care of them. And I do help clients do that. You don't really need to pay a credit company $100+ a month to do this. I help clients with, the right information, how to send it, how to track it, and how to get it taken care of, how to dispute it. You just have to do the work. But usually when you have the information and someone to help guide you on that work, it is very helpful. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. Settling accounts is one of the things that I help people do. So you can build a relationship with the creditor or the collector if you prefer. But you also definitely want to make them validate the debt. There's a letter to do that. You can submit that online. And you definitely want to have the money ready to negotiate with these creditors and document everything, your call to them, or any online communications to them. And that if indeed you do settle an account, you want to make sure that you get the payment letter, a confirmation of that sent to your email or in the mail. That way, if indeed they do not update it with the credit bureaus, all three, you have that as evidence to provide in a quick dispute so that the credit bureaus then will update your credit profile. So again, settling accounts refers to, like on your credit report, refers to reaching an agreement with the creditor to pay off the debt for less than the full amount owed. It doesn't mean that's necessarily a great way to go about it, but it's the best option when you have larger collection accounts, or what's called a charge-off account. Typically, that's from a financial institution that doesn't sell it to a collection agency. You basically want to understand that, okay, this is how much my budget says that I can put towards debt. Okay, here's a timeline towards paying off some of this debt. I'm going to call the collection company and request the settlement. And then once they offer you that settlement, what's their timeline? Do they have a deadline? And then you want to save that amount and pay it off in full. Now, you can get into a payment plan. It's not recommended. I don't recommend payment plans with creditors. I recommend saving it and paying it outright yourself, but it's whatever works best for you. And then when they report it as paid to the credit bureaus, there will be a remark on your credit report that states paid less than full balance in the remarks section. So sometimes that, can look a little negative, but I've been told from mortgage loan officers and, many different people actually in the industry that it's much better than leaving an open collection on your account. So, and you'll always see a FICO score increase when you take care of a closed account. So most often they are what is hindering the performance of a FICO score. Disputing inaccurate information on your credit report is a crucial step to also ensure that your credit report accurately reflects your financial history. So if you find errors, inaccuracies on your credit report, you definitely have the right to dispute them and have them corrected. So there's a specific guide to go about that process. First, you want to get your credit report from all three credit bureaus. You want to identify and document the errors. You want to file the dispute online. That's the easiest way to do it. If you do it by mail, you want to send that certified so that you have a return receipt so you know exactly when it was received. You wait for the investigation results, 30 days or less, that you should hear back from the creditor. And if errors are found, the credit bureau is going to correct your report. If you need to, then you need to follow. If needed, then you follow up to ensure that the accurate information is reflected in your credit report. But typically, the credit bureaus do take care of the process within 30 days. So establishing and or rebuilding credit, here is basically one way to go about it. So first, you want to prioritize. I did speak about that. You don't want to close any accounts right off the bat. You want to clear any records, any public records, collection accounts. You want to make sure that all your revolving accounts are at 30 or below the limit. If possible, you want to pay those small collections. So anything under 500, up above 500 is typically when we recommend people settle. And first and foremost, you definitely want to make sure that you owe that debt so you can always make sure that you request some form of a bill, a statement, so that you know that they do have that information on file before you go and pay it. And then again, you want to negotiate and or settle for the larger debts, and you want to pay off these closed accounts. And then you can also establish credit with the secured card, as I'd mentioned earlier, or you can also apply for a credit builder loan, which is a secured loan. And those are just some of the steps to take. So today's presentation, I'm done with today's presentation. Thank you for participating today. And I just want to also emphasize that, mastering credit and money management, it really does allow you to take control of your financial future and achieve your goals. Working towards your financial success, both personal and for business, it's a step-by-step journey, but as long as you are consistent, you will reach your goals. So if you want any further guidance, please sign up. And if you'd like my further guidance, or just reach out and I can help answer any questions for you that don't have to do with your credit report. Because in order to get your credit report, I would need you to sign up as a client. There's just a couple steps to register. And then at that time, we dig deeper into your personal circumstances, your financial goals, and create an action plan. So thank you again.
Thank you, Erin, for that presentation, for that information, great key information. I learned a little something during your presentation as well. So if you guys have any questions for me and Erin, now is an opportunity for you to either plug it in the chat, or you can just unmute your mic and ask those questions or concerns. Or if you would like to speak with either one of us, one-on-one, you guys will have our contact information. You guys emailed me for this event, so you have my email address and my phone number when I shared the link. So if you need to reach out to me directly or Erin directly, we would love to be able to have that conversation. But again, if you want to plug it in the chat, we'll just wait for those questions or concerns to be plugged into the chat. And again, thank you for joining us also. Okay. So I see, awesome information. I see a thank you. Do you work with clients in New York, or is there Operation Hope located in New York?
That's a great question. So I do work with clients in New York, but we also have Operation Hope coaches in New York. So what you'd want to do if you want one specifically in your state, which can be really great because they will know the specific resources in New York. I do have ways to find that out, right? But there are coaches there that are more knowledgeable. You can go onto the Operation Hope, so operationhope.org website, and you will see all of the different services that Operation Hope offers. You'll go under credit money management, and then they will assist you with assigning a coach to you once you sign up. And that happens pretty immediate.
Okay. Thank you. Any more questions for us, myself or Erin? We would love to be able to answer those questions, being that you took the time out this morning to join us, which again, we truly appreciate that on a Saturday morning.
Yes, definitely.
And this information is great, even if you're not looking to tap into the entrepreneurship arena. If it's going to help you on a personal side, that's what we want to be able to get you positioned for, because a lot of times individuals may want to, get things cleared up on a personal side before they jump in that entrepreneurship arena. But we just wanted to share to let you know the resources that's available, because a lot of times individuals that might already have opened their doors for entrepreneurship may need financial assistance. And this is the area that is a roadblock, because now they have to go back, get things cleared up on a credit report, which is going to hold up the process. So that's why I tell individuals, after you leave and hit this button, look at your credit report, make sure what's there is supposed to be there. And if you have to work on it, start, working on it. Now you have a resource that's in the area or wherever you're located that can provide you that support. So again, we want to thank you for being here with us this morning. So I think we have a question that's getting ready to hit the chat.
And I encourage you to focus on one aspect of your finances with your business or your startup of your business today. When we end just one, start there. I encourage you to do that. Just one. Pick one.
Okay. So here's the question. What if you have registered your small business or getting ready to launch, but need a small loan and have poor credit? What would be the best course of action?
Okay, so I was actually going to share a story. I just had a client who was in the culinary arts business. She was managing her personal and business finance together. So she wasn't really managing it very well. And she was very stressed out. She wanted to get a business loan, business credit, and couldn't figure out how to do so. So, first, what I had her do is we separated the two. We opened a business account at her bank, which was an account that had no fee, because there's many business accounts that don't have fees. Better off to start there. It's good to start that banking relationship for your business, and then they will help you with that right at the bank. That's their job. They're going to teach you how to use that account. But most importantly, managing your expenses separately. All your business expenses go into the bank, or your banking, your business banking, and then your personal go into your personal, and keeping them separate is important. Then you work on your personal credit, which is exactly why it's very helpful to understand business and personal credit in order to get that business loan. I helped my client do that, but it took her about 6 months to increase her personal credit so that then she could start her true desire to open up her own place and go from just jumping around to small events to full-fledged going at it with her dreams. So it will take a little while, but you do need to work on your personal credit first and budgeting personal aside from business. And then, again, with time and consistency, you will increase your personal score, and then you can go to the bank, get a business credit card, begin there, and start gaining that business credit, which takes a little bit longer. But with personal credit, if as long as you have about a 650 or higher, then you're going to reach that success with business credit, if that
Okay.
helps.
And can I also piggyback? So it
Yeah.
says that you need a loan. So now is a question of how much financial assets do you need. So with that being said, I mentioned the 4 resource partners. You can sit down and with either one of them so they can help you to pull together a business plan, financials, and a projection. So your projection is going to kind of help that lender know how much money you need to borrow, kind of down to the penny. And there may be some things that you might find out by working with one of the resource partners that you might can bootstrap with. So if you figured out you need this much by working with that resource partner, that one-on-one, and once you do the financials and projection, it's like, wow, wait a minute, I need under 50,000. And remember, I talked about the microloan. The microloan is set up a little different. It's not a traditional lender. A microloan is through a micro lender. The microloan will help someone that has a low credit score, but it just depends how low it is. That micro lender also provides technical assistance as well. So going into a traditional lender will be totally different than working with a micro lender. And those loans are 50,000 or less. But like I said, once you go ahead and work with one of the resource partners to get the business plan, financials, and projections, the financial loan that you wanted or thought you needed, maybe that number was lower and you might, fit under a micro loan. So it all just depends. So again, I'm working with Operation Hope to help, get some things turned around. Working with one of the SBA resource partners that you are already paying for can also assist you as well. And like I mentioned during my presentation, we do have the list of lenders. The micro lenders are listed on there. If you want to receive a copy, just send me an email and I can get that to you. So again, these resources are available for you. Yes, I have a business. Okay, so you're working with SBDC, which is great. And I'm sure that they probably talk to you about the microloan as well. But again, once you, continue to work with that resource partner, SBDC consultant, they're going to, like I said, the amount that you originally thought you needed, it could be lower. So again, we want to assist you. We don't want to try to scare someone like, oh, wait a minute, being that my credit score is here, that's going to stop everything. Just like Aaron said, it may hold up the process a little bit, but that's not the end of all. there's other things that you can work on while you're still working on your credit to get that to a position, and then building that relationship. You want to have those conversations with that lending institution, especially if that lending institution has the appetite for what it is that you're doing. They're going to work with you. They may have a special loan product, but you will only know if you go in and start having those conversations. With the SBA also guide assists a person who's thinking about selling. Yes, the resource partners can assist you. So basically, an SBA resource partner could assist you from startup to shut down. Someone is shutting down their business, passing it on to their family, just closing it down, or selling a business. So yes, any resource partner, the Women's Business Center, the Small Business Development Center, SCORE, or if you're military connected, the Veterans Business Outreach Center could assist you with selling a small business. And I also see a comment. Thank you both. This has been helpful. Thank you for attending. And like I said, you do have our contact information. Let us know if there's anything I can assist you with. Today is Saturday. I have to remember. Monday, I'm not in the office. I won't be back until Tuesday, which is the 7th. So if you send me an email when I get back on the 7th, I will respond to you. Okay, so if you guys don't have any more questions, we don't want to take up any more time. We're not trying to rush you or anything like that. The event was scheduled, the Credit and Money Management Resources for Entrepreneur was scheduled to end at 12 o'clock. It's like 11:31. I think we kind of did our job, Aaron, probably answered questions along the way. But again, for those of you that want to speak to either of us one-on-one, connect to SBA Resource Partners. If you need help with finding out how to connect with a resource partner, you want access to the lending or any additional information about SBA, please reach out to me. If you want more information and want to connect with Erin, you do have our contact information. She did plug that into chat. Again, I want to thank you for taking the time out your morning to attend this information. You know, we didn't have a virtual room full of people, but that is okay. You guys signed up to attend and you did that, and I'm excited. So I'm going to say, again, thank you. Erin, you have any last remarks you want to share before we hit that button?
Nope. Thank you again. And I hope you have a great weekend and you have our information. We can help you moving forward.
Okay. Thank you. And everyone, enjoy the rest of your day and have a great weekend as well. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.